Let's take a look at the Infiray Tube Series TH50 version 2. Now this thing's pretty impressive. As you know, it's got a really nice big wide screen in it. One of the best in the industry at the moment. The viewing experience is absolutely spectacular. Coming up, we're going to take a look at the image quality on this device, as well as how to operate it, how to calibrate the rangefinder, as well as how to zero it. Let's dive in deep and take a closer look. All right, so that looks pretty good. You can see here in this one shot, you can see the dog at 100 meters, dog at 200 meters there to the left, and then at 300 meters we can see a vehicle with dogs in the back of the crate, and also a human sitting on a chair. I just wanted to make one other quick note. We find on Infiray products that the recordings are not as good as what you see through it. The newer products are pretty close, but they're not quite as good as what you see through it. We're going to do digital zoom in at each distance and give you an indication of the image quality. Here we have a dog at 100 meters just here. I think he's about 17 kilos, any old radar. Focused it as much as I can, that's as clear as I can get it. The second dog you can see in the background is at 200 meters. We're going to go 5 times here. This dog is just he's looking around through the grass here. Gotta wait for him to lift his head up. Alright, now we're going to go up to, we go 8 times here. See, like at 100 meters it looks pretty good. Going to 11 times now. Now we're going to go all the way up 14 times. Definitely see the outline of the animal there in the head there. It's only a small dog. At base mag, it looks very good, but we'll see what it looks like under digital zoom. 5 times, 8 times, 11 times. So at 200 meters here, I feel like this is probably max headshot range. You wouldn't want to be trying to do headshots too much further than this on a small animal, such as a wild dog or a kangaroo. Lastly, 14 times. Moving over to the 300 meter mark, we have a human here at 300 meters, and we're going to start at base mag. 5 times, 8 times, 11 times, 14 times. We have a yowie here waving at me. That's what a human looks like at 300 meters. Buzz, what's going on, mate? You having a good time? Having a good nap there? Don't you dare go laying back down, mate. All right, this is 20 meters, base mag, 3.5 times to 5 times, and Buzz asleep again. You're gonna go 8 times now. All right, we're at 8 times here now. There we go, 11 times now. You can see inside Buzz's soul. Alright, and 14 times at 20 meters. Alright, so let's take a look at some pigs. Now these are domestic pigs. I thought it would be easier to get footage of these guys like this. So we're starting out at 100 meters and we're slowly zooming in through the magnification levels. Now I didn't take note of what zoom level I was using for some of these shots. Now we're going to 50 meters, so a bit closer in. We've got a better angle on the pigs now. We can make them out a bit better over the grass. And we're just zooming in a bit more there now. We've got a big sow here, absolute stonker, massive big pigs. And then we're going to go in right up close to about 20-30 meters from them. You can really see the definition and detail, it's quite good. Alright, so that's our piggies, looking pretty good there. We'll move on now, take a look at some other things. Here we have our vehicle, the detail on that. And then we're going to do some kangaroo watching, little kangaroo here, a bigger kangaroo out a bit further. Once again, I wasn't able to note down the ranges on this because Infiray products don't record the LRF on your video recording, so I forgot to note down the distances, so we'll just go by guesses here. This one's a bit further out, somewhere past 100 meters up along the edge of the timber. Now we have some kangaroos pretty close here, be somewhere around that 50-80 meters, probably up more closer to the 80 meter mark. Now we have a cow here walking past this mob of roos. We have some kangaroos hopping on in. And that'll do it for our image comparison on this one. So we're going to take a look at the Infiray Tube Series version 2, the TH50. So this is the box. We'll take a quick look at what's in the box. Right, so you get this bag and we get some included rings. You don't have to use them, they're quite high, but they do come with it. Okay, and that's pretty much it. And then you've got the scope itself. Okay, the LRF attachment is a separate purchase. It can be attached to the side and it Bluetooths the range finding function to the inside of the scope. All right, so let's take a look at how the scope actually works. All right, so one of the big standouts on this particular model is that it actually has a round screen inside, which we'll show you later. It's a very big viewing screen, a very good experience when looking through it. It has exceptional image quality with the new sensor, and the rangefinder has really good distance on it. So at the front here we have some button controls, we have some adjustment for your eyes, and then as we move along a bit further we have our zoom ring, so this will zoom in and out as you turn it, and then this will also activate the quick menu and the main menu functions. And as we move along further, as you can see, I've attached the laser rangefinder with this quick release attachment here, which is good. And then as we move along a bit further, we've got our focus ring here and then obviously our lens cap. Now, what do the buttons do? So obviously we've got the power button. A lot of these buttons have different functionality if you press and hold them, or if you hold two buttons at once. So if you press and hold the brightness button, it'll actually activate the rangefinder laser. So this is the laser to help you sight in the rangefinder. Now, how you actually sight this in, which we'll touch on in depth a bit later on, what you do is inside the menu on the scope, you put your crosshair for your laser rangefinder where you would like it to appear on the screen. You may want to sight this rangefinder into your actual shooting reticle, but if you don't want to, if you want to have a different reticle for your laser rangefinder, you can position it where you want. And then you want to put the laser on a target, on the same target that your laser rangefinder reticle is also on. And then that will align it to that target. So quite simple there. To actually move this rangefinder to point at a different direction, you undo some Allen keys, bolts here, just a little bit, enough so that you can move this rangefinder around. Okay, it's actually on a ball in there that moves when this is loosened off, which allows you to point it where you need to. Okay, now obviously to turn the rangefinder on, we have our power button here. You just press and hold it for briefly. And then we have our battery compartment for the rangefinder, which is a 123A battery. Now on the opposite side here, we actually have our battery compartment for our extra battery. Now you don't get a lot of extra run time out of this, but it could be handy if you're away from a charging station and you want to be able to get a few extra hours out by swapping these batteries. So these are 18500 batteries, and I think you only get about an extra hour or something like that. On the opposite side here, we have our USB charging port to download footage off the thermal. Now, when you charge this, this red light will actually come on. Okay, but you don't want to charge this with anything higher than a 2 amp charger. If you try and charge this with a fast charger or a phone charger that puts out a lot of amps, it won't accept charge and it could actually potentially damage it. I think the damaging of it's probably unlikely on the newer models. But I have seen the damage of these ports on some older units. So if it's not accepting charge, make sure that the charger you're using isn't outputting too much amps, and the cable could also be an issue. Okay, back to looking at the buttons here. So we have our brightness button here. Now if you just single press this, it will make the brightness of the image higher or lower. It'll cycle through the brightness levels. And then if you press and hold that button, it'll actually activate the rangefinder laser. Okay. Now we've got our record button here. Now if you single press this, will take a photo, long press will start recording. Now on the other side here we have our palette changing button, so single press will change to a different palette. A long press on the palette button will engage the picture-in-picture mode, which will show a more zoomed in picture at the top of the screen. Okay, so our dial here, so zooming in and out like this, and then if you want to open up the quick access menu, a single press will open up the quick access menu, and then you can use this to navigate that menu, and then another single press to activate one of the options within that menu. Then if you want to get out of the menu, you can press and hold, or if you just wait, it'll get out of it on its own. Another neat feature is if you are in a menu and you want to go back or get out of it quickly, you can just press the power button once, which will make you go back to the previous location. Okay, now, so to get into the main menu, you press and hold this button and it'll open up a menu on the side. Once again, you can scroll this wheel to navigate through that menu, and then a single press to activate into the next set of menus. And once again, a single press to go into the next menu, and so on. A single press on the power button to go back a menu, or press and hold this menu button to go back to the previous menu. Okay, so what do I think of this scope? I think it's a really good option for people to consider at the moment. It's got excellent image quality with the new Infiray sensor. It's got the nice big screen in the front here for excellent viewing. It's got some amazing features. It's got a rangefinder, of course, which is handy. And overall, I've been using this scope for a little while now, testing it out, and it's been accurate. It's easy to sight in. I can't say I've had any concerns or problems with it. So I think it's a good system overall. And worth considering if you're in the market for a scope like this. A lot of these buttons double up to do different functions when you press and hold two at the same time. Okay, so if you press and hold these two buttons at the same time when you first get the scope, it'll turn the scope into an actual scope, which is funny to say, but it comes with the reticle disabled. And to activate those functions, you need to press and hold these for quite a while for it to actually allow you to access the reticle and the scope options. Now, when you are sighting this in and you need to do your freeze frame, these two buttons here will allow you to do the freeze frame. So if you press and hold these two buttons, that's how you'll do your freeze framing. Okay, so just remember that everything that I'm telling you here is in the manual. So if you get caught or if I've missed something, just download the manual and have a look at that. But in addition, another two button option is if you press and hold the palette button and the brightness button at the same time and you have the rangefinder attached, it will actually change between continuous ranging and single ranging modes. So that's something to keep in mind. So some of the secondary functions of the power button, if you single press it, it will actually do an image calibration, a manual image calibration. Okay, to put the device in standby mode, you long press the power button, but don't hold it in all the way through the countdown. If you hold it all the way through the 3, 2, 1 countdown, it'll actually turn it all the way off. But as soon as you see the numbers come up, if you release it, it will go into standby mode. And then to wake it up again, just a single press on the power button. Now, if you have a single range finding mode on, so that's where it just gets a single distance for you, you can just single press on this, will do a single range find for you. In addition, if you're doing a pixel repair, a single press on this will allow you to add or remove a pixel repair. Now, keep in mind, if you do use the power button to go back a menu, it won't save any changes that you've done according to the manual. So if you want to actually save your changes, so say you've done some changes to your zeroing, you want to press and hold your menu button to actually complete the save. If you single press on this, it may delete the information that you've done. So keep that in mind. Right, that's about all I can think to cover in this review today. If you have any more questions about this thermal, please give us a ring, or you can jump on our website too if you'd like to make an order. You can also ring us if you want to make an order. But we're here to help you make the best decision about your next thermal purchase. Now, to do firmware updates on these Infiray devices, you can only do it currently through the mobile app, which we will have another video on how to actually connect this to Wi-Fi and then do an update and stuff through the app. But we're not going to cover that in this video because it's basically the same on all Infiray products. So we don't want to keep going over it again and again in every video we do. But that's how you do it if you need to do it right now. If there's anything that I've missed, I would suggest downloading the manual on how to use this device, and it'll cover absolutely everything in there, and anything that we missed will be in the manual somewhere. All right, let's take a look at the menus first. So we have our ultra clear image at the top there. That's just adjusts the image as to what they think will look better. Then we go down and we have our Wi-Fi on and off. We have our Bluetooth on and off. Now this is for your rangefinder. So you want to have this turned on if you want it to connect to your rangefinder. And you can actually go into this adjustment here, go into search, and when you turn your rangefinder on, it should show up there. So there's our number there, that's our rangefinder, and we've got it turned on at the moment. We have our motion sensors, compass, laser calibration, which we'll go through shortly. We have our zeroing profiles, our reset zeroing distance, our image calibration, our standby on and off modes, our pixel defect correction, compass calibration, and lastly settings. And then inside the settings we have our date, time, language, meters or yards, our status bar displays, our image hue, so that'll be warm and cold, hot. If we change it to cold there, we might give that a bit of a spin. Then we've got our factory reset and our info down the bottom here. So very straightforward there. We'll go back now. All right, now let's quickly run through the quick access menu, which allows you to change the reticle and stuff like that. So a single press on your menu button will bring up this quick access menu, which allows you to switch between your meter distances that you've sighted in, allows you to cycle through your reticle, and in addition to that, it allows you to change the color of your reticle. Okay, green's not a bad one. And then in addition, we have our contrast here that we can change. So you can see that made quite a big difference there, going from 2 to 3. And then that's basically the quick access menu in a nutshell right there. Alright, so I'm just going to run you through the TH50 version 2. It's got a laser rangefinder on it, and we're going to show you how to zero it and how to calibrate the rangefinder if I don't get washed away by this storm that's coming in. Now, one thing that I really like about the Infiray unit is the round screen. It's got a beautiful round screen in it, as you can see there now. I'll just get out of this menu. As you can see, it's got a really nice big round screen in there, and the image quality is really awesome. And it shows information at the bottom. We've got our battery on the right hand side there, and that's that. So we'll continue on. I've just got to do as much as I can quickly before I get washed away here. Alright, so I'm just going to do a demonstration on how I like to sight in thermals. Usually I'll get a big piece of cardboard, even bigger than this one. Me personally, I prefer using the heated targets, so these patches. You can also use these reflective targets. You put them up and you put them on a slight angle so you can see it through the scope. The heated ones seem to work quite good for me, especially these Infiray ones. You get a couple with the scope usually. So basically I'd sight it in for 30 or 50 meters and then go out to 100 meters from there. The bigger the piece of cardboard you have, the better, in my opinion, or your target, so that you can easily see where your shot lands if it is way out. I'll aim at this heat patch, and then if the bullet, say, lands down here, I'll come out and I'll stick a bit of foil on it, like maybe one of these silver stickers here, or another one of these heated patches. Now you don't need these expensive things, you can just use aluminium foil. I prefer doing it this way. Alright, we're going to take a look at the zeroing process now. So I've got to record this using my camera, as the Infiray stuff doesn't record the menus when you press record on the scope itself. So here we have a heated patch at the top there and our target down below. I prefer the heated patches, particularly at a longer distance. We're very close to this target at the moment just for this video. So in our zeroing profiles we've got A, B and C. So we've got our A zeroing profile selected now, and then we'll go down to our zeroing distances and we will select 100, 200 or 300. Now you can adjust this, you can change the meterage here. Now you want to make sure that these are all a different distance now, because if they're all 100 meters then your scope might select the wrong profile next time you turn it on because they're all the same. We've seen users having that issue. Now if we press our menu button to access it, and we can go into our zeroing here and we can make adjustments. Now we want to do our freeze frame. To keep it simple, let's just say that I've taken a shot at the center of this target and that heat patch at the top is where the bullets landed. Now if that was the case, we'd press and hold the palette button and the photo button at the same time while it is on the center of the target there. Now it's frozen there now, so now all we have to do is use our scroll wheel to move our crosshair up, left and right. So I'm moving it to the right there now. I don't want to do that, I'll move it back. Now we go to the y-axis, now we can go up and down. So we'll take it all the way back up to our heat patch and just a little bit to the right by the looks of that. I might be going to get washed away here. You can change your reticle so you can see it a lot better. I've got it set on a very small reticle because that's what I like. Now we've got it up there on our heat spot. I can press and hold the menu button and it'll save it. So it's now moved the zeroing to where that heat patch is, presuming I originally took a shot at the center there now. Now briefly before I go, if you go in here and you scroll down to the 100 meters, that's how you can actually adjust it. And if you keep pressing your menu button, it'll cycle through the numbers there, and if you press and hold, it'll move out of it. Alright, I'm going to briefly run through how to calibrate the laser rangefinder before I get wet here, which I think is going to be very shortly. So this here, you can undo these Allen keys, loosen them off a little bit, and that allows you to move this around. And what you want to do is turn your laser on. As you can see, I've got the laser turned on, and to do that you press and hold the brightness button on the thermal until the laser turns on. You do that before you enter the menus, and then on the scope itself you go into the menus and you go down to your calibration for your laser calibration there. You select that. Now this is where you would put your laser rangefinder target. Now as you can see, I've moved mine to the bottom because I don't want it showing up on the screen. Okay, so I'm just using my crosshair as the range finding distance. In my range finding calibration, if I put the crosshair where I want the laser to be and sight it in with the laser, then that square now would be my range finding square. So I'd put that square on my target and it'd tell me how far away it is. Then I'd bring my crosshair down to take the shot. Now what I've done is I've just sighted my laser into the actual crosshair roughly, and I've just moved the square out of the way. Quickly run over it again. So we turn our laser on. We get this loosened off just a little bit so that we can move this around. So that's got a little ball in there that can move. And then we want to point our scope where we want our laser to be. Okay, so something over there that we want to look at. And then we point our scope at it. So say it's this little square. We want it on that heat patch. We put that on the heat patch. And then we get our laser and we move our laser here and make our laser point at that same heat patch. And then your laser rangefinder will be calibrated to that position there. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to us. We aim to make reviews and guides on not only thermal and night vision products, but also other hunting equipment as well. So keep your eye out. We would also love it if you would consider making your next purchase with us. We aim to offer the best service and deals on a massive range of hunting products. And I am positive that your experience dealing with us will be absolutely amazing. We also have a Facebook group dedicated to thermal, so feel free to check that out. Over there, you can discuss thermal equipment with thousands of other people as well as us. To see what we have on offer, visit our retail website or give us a call anytime. If you give us a bell, we can offer a more personalized experience to give you the right information for you to make the best decision about your purchase. One last thing, we have a website called UHunt that has smartphone and TV apps for you to watch exclusive hunting content. These are full-length movies and TV shows for you to enjoy. It's also a social network for hunters with a premium side to it. And if you do upgrade, you get some nice discounts on everything sold at Bristle Up Hunting Supplies, which is great because it basically pays for itself. All right, you absolute legends. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Get out there and get amongst it.